Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today's video is going to be all about makeup for mask wearers and the makeup that I recommend that has that little bit of extra longevity that will last the test of time even under a face mask. This has been such a heavily requested video. Over months I've been getting requests for this video, but I've been holding off doing it because I just felt like by doing it a few months ago, I would be downplaying or trivializing the situation because face masks were still vital months ago, makeup, not so much. Now, the world's getting back to some sort of normality. I thought this video would be a little bit more acceptable to do now. We all have to wear masks on public transport. We all have to wear masks whilst we're entering or in a shop, possibly at work as well. But maybe we don't have to wear that mask all day. So when we take the mask off, we still want to have that added confidence and have our makeup intact. So I've already done a video all about skincare tips for mask wearers. I will link that up here if you haven't seen it already, and try and remember to link it in the description box for everybody so you can watch it a little bit later on. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I am a fully qualified esthetician and lover of anything beauty, skincare and makeup. I no longer work in a salon or a clinic as my full-time job is now YouTube. I upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 PM London time, and I'm also on Instagram if you want to check me out over there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. I'd really appreciate it if you would consider clicking on that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Okay, so this is one of my face masks. I just think it's a really pretty fabric. I did think that if I'm gonna have to cover my face over throughout the day, it might as well look nice. And I really like this one. Like I said in my skincare for mask wearers video, I like to take at least 3 or 4 of these out in my handbag if I'm going out for the day so that I can frequently change them as they get damp and a little bit uncomfortable. Put them in a bag, put them in my handbag, and don't put them back on again until they have been properly washed. So I like to take at least 3 or 4 of these with me so I can change them frequently throughout the day. So this covers all of my nose, my chin area, and all the way up my cheeks as well. So that's the area that's going to get a little bit of rubbing from the mask. Obviously on the end of my nose for sure, the end of my chin definitely, and these areas can become quite irritated, especially if you're talking through your mask, which I just don't seem to be able to stop myself from doing. So I do get quite an irritated patch on the end of my nose and on the end of my chin from these, but my eyes and my eyebrows and my forehead are clearly visible, and that's the area that I really want to concentrate on for makeup purposes, because I feel like if you really do make a feature of your eyes, nobody notices the fact that you've got a mask on. I mean, obviously they will, but not as much. So this is what mine looks like on. So my eyes are clearly visible, so are my eyebrows, so that's what we're going to concentrate on first. So I've just added a little bit of my P.LOUISE eyeshadow base, just so that it cancels out any discoloration and it will hold the eyeshadows in place all day. Now I'm not actually going to apply lots of eyeshadow. You can do whatever eye look you want to. Usually I go out in the day with a very, very natural look, so just a lick of mascara is enough for me. But if I am wanting to make a little bit more of a feature of my eye but not look over the top, I will apply a little bit. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Luxury palette in the shade Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. I just think this is absolutely beautiful. You can create such a stunning look with this and still look quite natural, which is what I aim to do. Like I said, you can be as over the top as you want to. This is just what I like. So I'm going to take a little bit of the pink shade and just take a fluffy brush and just lay that in the crease. Really get that in the crease there. Just on the outer third. And then bring it in halfway across. And once I've done that, I'm just going to take a clean fluffy brush and just buff out all those edges, just to blend that in really beautifully into my natural skin. Then I'm going to take the palest shade in the palette, which is this one up here. Just take it on my finger and just pop that down on the lid. Such a simple palette to use, but very, very effective in making your eyes pop. So that's where I'm going to leave the eyeshadow. Very quick, very simple, very easy to do. You can deepen up the outer edge if you want to using this shade here. You can also add a bit of sparkle using this shade here, but that's where I'm going to leave it because I am going to add a little bit of liner on the top lash line and also within the waterline to make my eyes pop even more. So the liner that I'm going to be using on the top lash line is another Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Pillow Talk liner. It is such a beautiful, beautiful liner. It's a browny sort of maroony reddy shade, which really, really is so, so beautiful. And most importantly, once it's on, it will not budge. So I'm going to apply that to the top lash line, very, very close to the lashes. So once I've done the top lash line, I'm going to move on to the waterline, and for that I'm going to be using the Rumour Scandaleyes in 003, which is brown. Like I said with this one, as you can see, it will not budge at all. The Charlotte Tilbury liners are absolutely amazing, which is why I recommend them, because once they're on, they seriously do stay put. So I'm just going to go into the water lines and just do a bit of tight lining. So I'm using a brown coloured liner because although I want my eyes to pop and really stand out, which they will do because I'm wearing a mask and really that's all that's noticeable and on show, I want to actually achieve this in a more subtle way. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to move on to foundation. Now, I highly recommend that if you can get away with wearing no foundation, that's what you do, because the more product you put on your face, the more chance you have of getting those breakouts and that irritation further on down the line. So if you can get away with a little bit of concealer here and there just to even everything out, then that's what I suggest you do. And that's what I've been doing when I go out. However, if you don't feel like you can do that and you really do want to even out your skin tone using a foundation, then the one that I recommend that has extreme longevity, it's also waterproof, it's also transfer proof, it's sweat proof as well, and it looks very, very natural on the skin, is the DIOR Face and Body. This is an absolutely amazing foundation. Absolutely amazing. Now, I recommend that you go for one as close to your natural skin colour as physically possible, because with all the will in the world, this does say it's transfer proof. When you're talking with a mask on, it's going to seriously rub on your face. No foundation in the world is going to be fully transfer proof. So if your foundation does lift in certain areas as it rubs on your mask, the closer to your natural skin tone it is, the less you're going to notice it. So that would be my recommendation, but this is an absolutely fantastic foundation. This is the one that if I was going to wear a foundation to the gym, this is the one that I would wear. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to the back of my hand, and I'm actually going to apply this with a damp sponge. You can actually apply a spritz of setting spray to the face before you apply your foundation to give it that little bit of extra grip, but I don't recommend that you do this on a regular occasion because there's a lot of alcohol within setting sprays. So use little and often, absolutely fantastic, but using every single day may slightly hinder and damage your skin's protective barrier. So just be wary of that. Obviously, if you really do need your makeup to last an incredibly long time, then that is one way to achieve that. So just spritz your face with the setting spray and let that dry down, and it will just grip on to your foundation a little bit better. I'm also not adding a primer to my skin. Now this tends to upset quite a lot of people. If you are going to be applying a primer, the one that I recommend for longevity and for really gripping that foundation in place is the All Nighter primer from Urban Decay. This is absolutely fantastic, but I just don't feel it necessary to do that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the foundation on my damp sponge, completely ignoring my advice for getting it as close to my natural skin tone as possible, because this is the one that I have in this foundation and it is slightly too warm for me. My usual shade is 0N in the Dior foundations. This is 1W, so it's slightly too dark and slightly too warm. But you get the gist. So once I've got a light covering of foundation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my favourite setting spray. You can use your favourite setting spray. I'm using the Urban Decay Chill, which is one of my ride or dies. I'm going to spray the damp blending sponge that I've just applied my foundation with the setting spray. I'm then going to take the tiniest little bit more foundation, apply that to the damp sponge, and I'm just going to go over the areas that are going to be under the mask and get a little bit more hammer. So my chin area and the end of my nose. And just on the tops of my cheeks. And once that's done, a little bit of setting spray all over the face. And pretentious wafting always helps. Now, once again, let me reiterate, this is not a routine that I would do on a daily basis. In fact, when I'm wearing a mask, I don't like to wear any foundation at all because I just find it hinders me throughout the day and it just causes a little bit of irritation. If you do have to wear a foundation though, I would try this routine without the setting spray at first to see whether the foundation holds up. The face and body is absolutely fantastic and it already has quite a high alcohol level content, which is why it lasts as long as it does, and it's waterproof and transfer proof and all of those things. So you may not need a setting spray on top of this in order for it to last all day underneath the mask. So that's my first port of call. Try this without the setting spray. If you do find that you do need that little bit of extra grip and longevity, then use the setting spray the day after maybe. Right, let's do under eye concealer because I am looking a little bit like a zombie at the moment. The concealer that I'm going to use is the ZOEVA Authentik Skin Concealer. It's a great concealer, this. I didn't actually like it when I first tried it. It creased a little bit, but then I realised I was applying too much. So you just need to apply a very small amount. The good thing about this is that it does dry down on its own without the aid of any setting powder whatsoever. It's very, very good at that and it stays all day. So I'm just going to pop a little bit on the inner corner and a little bit on the outer corner, which is what I like to do, and then get my sponge and stamp that in place and blend it out. So once that's done, and if this video is slightly disjointed, I do apologise. I am going to have to be the queen of editing because the amount of times I've run up and downstairs to check that the kids are okay and get them drinks and stuff. Wes is at work today and I'm trying to film with the kids sorting themselves out, which just isn't going well. It's not going well, everybody. So hopefully the editing process will be smooth, but it may take a while. Okay, so let's go back into the eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go into this shade here just for right on this outer corner, just to connect the dots and just fluff that out and blend it all in nicely. Again, same on the other side. Doesn't have to take an absolute age. This is a really, really quick and simple eye look. And then I'm going to take that pinky shade and just blend everything together along that bottom waterline. Then I'm going to take this really pale shade that we've got all over the lid and just apply that right in the inner corner just to brighten that area up a little bit. Okay, so let's get some mascara on and finish the eye look. If you are in a humid climate or you are a glasses wearer, it's extremely important to wear something that is transfer proof and smudge proof, because if you are a glasses wearer like me or you live in a humid climate, you will know that it gets rather humid behind those glasses because all the heat from your breathing goes right up into your glasses, makes your glasses steam up, and also makes it rather hot behind there. So if you're wearing a mascara that's not smudge proof or transfer resistant, then it does tend to transfer onto your upper lids if you're not careful. So I always recommend a waterproof mascara for anybody living in a humid climate or anybody that's wearing a mask and glasses at the same time, otherwise you might end up in a bit of a mess. Now, I actually don't have a waterproof mascara because I don't really regularly wear them. So the one that I like at the moment, and I found that this doesn't transfer onto my upper lids when I'm warm, is the Urban Decay Lash Freak mascara. It's a really nice mascara as well, and I'm thoroughly enjoying wearing it at the moment. So that's the one I'm gonna wear, but if you do wear glasses all the time and live in a humid climate, then that's an even bigger challenge for you. I would definitely recommend a mascara that is waterproof. Okay, so let's do eyebrows. Now, you might never do anything with your eyebrows. You might not think it's necessary. I believe eyebrows are really, really important because they frame the entire face. They become even more important when you're covering up the lower half of your face, especially when people can't hear you or see you smiling. You can really smile with your eyebrows and your eyes by just lifting the eyebrows a little bit, and I do look a bit like a crazy person now, don't I? Anyway, you get the point. You can make gestures with your eyebrows. People can't see your face and they can't see you smiling. Maybe people are just dodging me in the street because I just look like an absolute loon. Anyway, I am going to be defining my eyebrows and making them seem a little bit more evident just to bring life back to the face. So I'm just gonna add a little bit. You've seen me do my eyebrows a lot. I'll do this off camera and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so once those are done, if you usually apply bronzer, now is the time to do it. I think I'm just going to apply a little bit on my forehead and right here where the mask doesn't tend to chafe, because, you know, the more products we put on, just the more product there is to rub off. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of the Maybelline City Bronzer to the high points of my forehead, just to contour that a little bit and make my forehead not seem as humongous. I don't mind my forehead. I'm not bashing myself, don't worry. You don't all need to say in the comment section, Gemma, you've got a lovely forehead. It's fine. We're not at that point just yet, but every little help to make it seem just a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to put a tiny weeny bit here just to carve out my cheekbone just slightly, and I mean really slightly. You've got a little dot there, and then I'm going to blend that outwards. I'm having my hair done in the next couple of weeks. I'm so excited. Super, super excited. So there may be some slight differences that you'll notice in a couple of weeks' time, because I'm having one of those, you know when you have those moments where you just feel a little bit bored and need a change? Usually my hair is the first thing to be changed. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think I should have done in the comment section. I'm thinking maybe a little shorter, maybe a little blonder. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Just hit myself in the bottom of the chin. We'll pretend that didn't happen and move on. Okay, so let's talk blush. Now, for me, blush is incredibly important. I feel it makes me look more awake, more alive, and just a little bit more girly, which I absolutely love. It also just brings everything together. Don't you feel like that happens? A little bit of blush on the cheeks and everything is right with the world. If only that was true. The one that I recommend for serious longevity is the KVD Vegan Beauty Everlasting Blush. This is in the shade Foxglove and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you're wanting a powder blush, this is definitely the one that I would point you towards. Absolutely stunning, comes in lots of different shades and they last an incredibly long amount of time. This is a powder blush, but it doesn't look powdery on the skin. It's actually quite a buttery formula, so it just blends beautifully on top of makeup or on your natural skin if you don't want to wear makeup. So I really like that one. I'm not going to use it today because I'm not going to use a powder blush today. The one that I'm going to use today is by Charlotte Tilbury. This one actually featured in my faves and fails video and I'm not quite sure when that aired because I do a lot of pre-filming, but I know that aired before this video will go live. So you will have already seen that one. If you haven't, I will link it up here for you. So this one is the Lip and Cheek Glow in the shade Colour of Dreams, and it is just absolutely fantastic. And like I said, in my faves and fails video, I actually went out with this on my cheeks when I went shopping with my daughter. I mean, we were only out for a few hours, but when I took my mask off, this was perfectly intact. I also think that a cream blush is absolutely fantastic when you've got a lot of matte products on your face for longevity because you want those products to last. It's just nice to give it a little bit more of a sheen. So I'm going to apply this with my fingers. You can apply this with a brush as well if you want to, but I don't want to lift any of the other products that I've already placed underneath them or disrupt them in any way. And I just feel the best way of not doing that is to apply this with your fingers with patting motions to blend this out. It just adds the most beautiful sheen to the skin. And this looks divine on bare skin as well as on top of makeup. And I just keep layering that up until I get the pigmentation that I want. It's just so beautiful. Look at that. It's just, oh, so beautiful. Another really good thing about this product is that it comes in such beautiful packaging and it does have a mirror in here. So if you do need to reapply throughout the day, if your mask has been really rubbing on your cheek area and you do need to reapply, then you can do this quite easily without any brushes or anything. You can just pick up the product and use the mirror to just apply this in the right areas with your fingertips. Okay, so let's talk about lips, because that's the only part in this video that I haven't covered. I am not a huge lipstick wearer on a daily basis. Usually lip balm is more my thing, and I generally go for things like the Huda Beauty Silk Balm, which I absolutely swear by. It's absolutely beautiful, and I will be using this product in this video. But for those of you that like a lot of lip colour on your lip and want it to remain intact when you remove your mask, then this is the one that I recommend. This has never let me down. It will withstand anything that you throw at it, and it's even great for anybody that has those lip lines. If you suffer with your lipsticks bleeding into those lip lines, this is the product that you need. This is absolutely fantastic. This is the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon, and the shade that I'm going to be using today is Trust Your Gut. Another recommendation would be the L'Oreal Infallible lipsticks, which will literally withstand a bullet. They are rock solid, but they are slightly more drying than I find this to be. So this is the one that I'm going to use today. And it's just so easy. It draws on. It's got a little sharpener at the bottom, which you can sharpen the tip of this so you can get a really accurate line. And it's waxy enough so it won't bleed into those little pesky lip wrinkles. So I also really love this because it makes it super easy to overline your lips slightly and make your lips just seem a little bit fuller. But this does dry down and it will not budge, even with a mask on. What I would recommend is that you take a little bit of lip balm with you, and when you remove your mask, you just apply a tiny bit of the lip balm just to keep your lips hydrated throughout the day, because hydration is key to a healthy skin. So I just like to apply a little bit just to make sure my lips are hydrated. And then just before I would put my mask back on, just so that it doesn't transfer onto the mask, I would just blot that with a tissue so that my lips are dry. And then I'd put my mask back on again. And then when I remove my mask, I would do the same process again. But as you can see, it's not removed any of the lipstick. The lipstick will still remain intact, which is why I love this one so much, because you don't have to reapply it constantly throughout the day. And I am extremely lazy. So this one is definitely a plus for me. So that's it. That's my take on a makeup suitable for mask wearers. This foundation is going absolutely nowhere. The blush is going nowhere. The lipstick's going nowhere. It really will stay intact all day. I mean, I know I've only been wearing it for like 30 seconds, but there's nothing on there at all. And you would expect, just when I've applied my lipstick, for the lipstick to at least transfer a little bit, and it definitely hasn't. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.